So we must do two things, two great things together to encompass that enormous new view that lies before us, but to encompass it within the framework of science, to see it within the whole categorical framework of science, and to see that these two are not separate, but that they are wedded. The bigness of the idea, the newness of the idea, the greatness of it is one with the structure of science, the structure of being itself. Okay, we were looking at life and truth in that law. We said, I was saying how beautiful that sense of the logic of truth is. You see that logic going right through the whole word order, the logicity of it, the rightness of it. Truth has to do with the rightness, with the trueness of everything, trueness of the form of everything. And this is, it's just beautifully evident in our Matthew story. And then we come to the love tone, because the law is life, truth, love. And so we reach in love the sense of completeness. If I say reach, I want to also make note to you of the fact that this is not a sequential order, but it is a like a chord, as though you would strike a chord on the piano. All three are there at once, you see. So love is going on at the same time, is stamping every stage, every aspect of the word order, every aspect of those seven with their subtones, stamping it with completeness. So that it isn't so that life impels something forth and it has a true form, but it never comes to fulfillment. It never reaches completion. It never has a plan, doesn't have a purpose. There's no purpose to it. Can you hear that? What happens when you take love away from that? Life and truth cannot stand alone. You see, they must have love, because what does love do? It gives to the impulsion, that is that which is being impelled forth, and given its form and its logic, gives it purpose, gives it planfulness. So love has to do with completeness, with perfection, with divine planfulness, with divine purpose. Love has to do with goal-directedness, with goal causality, which is very much what we've been seeing about retro-causality. All these wonderful terms belong to love, that love is there to make sure that everything that life and truth is bringing forth is fulfilling the plan of love, belongs to the plan of love, finds its right place value within the matrix and the plan of love, and doesn't end up somewhere else, so that you don't have the end at the beginning in the wrong sense of having all the phenomena of the end at the beginning and things in disarray, you see, out of order. Life, truth, and love ensures that the order of the word is intact and that it is fulfilled at every point along the way. So we sometimes speak of the teleological sense of love. Actually, I think that many of these terms then would belong to love in Christian Science, that would say that at the point of love in Christian Science, there is a teleological sense, also a goal directedness in love. what do we mean by teleology, to be teleological? This is a term that explains any series of events as having, in terms of its ends, in terms of its goals and purposes. It comes from the Greek word teleos, meaning perfect or complete, end or result. And you see, this is again love, isn't it? It's love that is teleological. Goal-purposed, goal-directed, goal-oriented. This is all love. And it is love at every point along the way that ensures that everything is nested, properly nested within the whole system in order to bring forth that goal and bring out that goal. So let's go further. So here we see, I want to show here with this next illustration, number 6, the interdependence now, to put these two laws together to show them working interdependently with each other. And so we have the law of life, truth, and love on the level of absolute Christian Science, working interdependently with the Word on the level of Christian Science. But I show you this first from the standpoint of the calculus. So the calculus on the level of Christian Science is moving the Word, right? It's causing the Word to move, to operate, to do what it is, to be and do what it is. And now we see that something is moving the calculus, that there's that the calculus is itself nested in something which is dynamic and which has a lawful operation, and it is that law of life, truth, and love that is impelling the Word as the Word, impelling the Word as the Christ, the Word as Christianity, and the Word as science. So each of those four aspects of the calculus in the Word are stamped with the success of life, truth, and love. They are stamped with the assurity. We could say we are stamped. We are stamped with the success of the fact that life, truth, and love is impelling upon us the calculus of the Word, you see. Impelling it in which way? Impelling it through the logic of truth, giving it the logic of truth, so that everything that comes into our lives and is brought into our lives is being brought in by life, impelled by life. Wherever it comes in, at whatever point in our life that situation occurs, we can trust that it is according to the logic of truth. This is what we don't trust, isn't it? Huh? Why did this happen? Why is this happening? Why is it happening now? This is not a good time. Right? This is not a good time for this particular situation. Is there ever a good time for many of these situations according to the human mind? No. No. The human mind would like to just go on and not be interrupted with experiences, huh? But here we see that everything in our life is ideal. Everything in our life is stamped with the success of life, truth, and love. Everything is impelled by life, by the creative impulsion of life. It is that which comes in according to the logic of truth, and so it will come in at the right time, at the right place, rightly related to every other aspect of our life, every other situation in our life, all the relationships in our life. Everything is absolutely ideal according to that logic of truth. And it is stamped with love. We can be sure that it is stamped with the success, the fulfillment, the planfulness of love, that it comes in at the right time, at the right place, in a whole plan, in a whole design of our lives. Love ensures, you see, that there is a great purpose in the whole picture, a great purpose in every experience that we have to bring out the highest, to bring out the glorified, to bring us to the point where we are the glorified of love. So I think that's a nice way of illustrating that illustration. And then we would see, have I got them all? This is number 6, then number 7. Now we're going to recap and put the whole thing together from the standpoint of the one law of interdependence. And you see that we have added something to these two laws, or added an accentuation. Now I show you the two laws linked, really, showing the interdependence, the relationship of life, truth, and love, bringing in bringing in mind, spirit, soul, principle, life, truth, and love. And the fact that love is the attractor in the Word. And in that Word, working interdependently at the levels of absolute Christian Science and Christian Science, we see that love is working with love. Love and love are working together to ensure that there is absolute fulfillment of that divine design, that divine plan of salvation. The divine plan within your life, that life, truth, and love will be understood and demonstrated as supreme above all, and that sin, sickness, and death will be resolved. So our accent today really moves to the standpoint of love. Love is the attractor, you see, in the field. In the field of the Word, the law of interdependence in the Word, love is the attractor. So everything is being drawn by love, pulled by love, attracted by love to its fulfilled and perfect state of being. This is what was going on in Jesus' life, and we'll see that happening. Now we just take it one step further. Actually, you could overlay that over the... do we need to overlay? Don't need to. Okay. All right. So here, as we said, love is the attractor in the Word, working with love at both levels, working together. And here we see, now we have added the 4, the calculus, to show that life, truth, and love is impelling the calculus 4, and that there is also an attractor in that field. What is it? Science is the attractor in the field of the calculus, always, yes. So science is drawing everything to science, to the standpoint of science, pulling everything to that standpoint that we know is wholeness and completion and fulfillment and perfection and infinity. That's the essence of the Word as science. And so that's where everything is leading. Just think that every moment is a moment that is moving and being moved toward that wholeness and that completeness, that fulfillment of science. Then we, I think, have one more. We actually have 2 more. Oh, yes, this is a good one. So here I have just taken it a step further to show you how life, truth, and love comes to impel each of the 7 in the word order. And I have shown you what subtones illustrate life, truth, and love. So that in, for instance, the word order at the point of mind, you see that the sense of life, the impulsion of life, is brought forth, is expressed through the subtone of mind. Through the subtone of mind. It's not long, and we will be starting. And then the subtone of mind as spirit is showing us the truth tone. Will show us the factuality, the form, the logic of that which is being brought forth in mind. And the subtone of soul will give us the fulfilled sense of that tone of mind. Will give us the sense of completeness, of touch of the perfection of that law of life, truth, and love as it comes and impels mind. Just take what you can. You just jump in where you are. You'll know where you are. Be true to that. You don't have to be where someone else is. You see, science is so vast and love is so loving. It gives you the whole. It gives you the whole. It gives you the whole field. It says, just come to where you are. Where you are should be what you love, you see. Love where you are. And go there, be there. Don't try to be somewhere else. Because if you are true to where you are, there's an attractor in the field that will pull you on, that will draw you on to the next stage, the next step. It's like that backward solution. We have to find out, where am I? Where am I? And not be proud about it, not be unhappy about it, not be pretentious about it. It's beautiful to be true to where you are. Truth asks for that truthfulness. Because it says, then I can do my work, I can finish my work, I can continue my work if you are true to where you are in your own consciousness. And love says, and I'm taking care of that whole process. I'm the attractor. Nothing will happen except you will advance, you will go forward, you will be drawn more and more and more into the realm of perfection and completeness. The point where you are right now has its own perfection, its own completeness. Isn't that true? Every day, every one of those 7 days is a day of perfection. Mind, the day of mind is a day of perfection, a day of its own completeness, its own wholeness. So with each day, so with each stage of our advancing understanding, right? So we don't need to feel, well, I can't get this, this is too much, or the other end of the scale is, oh, I know this, I heard this so and so many years ago, and we don't need to repeat it. What we need to see really is the newness of it and the practicality of it, and to see that we are in a planful evolution of consciousness, an intelligent evolution of consciousness, and that each one of us is an individual consciousness. We can't all walk lockstep through our evolution of consciousness. This would deny the Christ. It is the office of the Christ to come to the individual consciousness, to be so totally engaged with you as individual consciousness that love sees only you. Love sees only your development, your best interests. You see, your highest good. It has the highest goals for you. It knows exactly how to establish those goals, to make the way for you along the way of that plan of love. Love that fact. Love the fact that there is love, that there is a Christ, and that the Christ is working with the individual consciousness. And as you are true to your individual consciousness, you are a savior for the world. You bless the world by being true to that. Isn't that wonderful? As if I try to be someplace that I'm not really in consciousness, there's no trueness there. And with that trueness comes a great accompaniment of power, of operation, that the individual consciousness is that which changes the collective and the universal. You change the world. You are world factors. Haven't we seen that before? Yes. So I don't know why that came in there, except that we're looking at an illustration of the deeper complexity of our subject, and I just said, jump in wherever you can. If you don't want to mark your textbook, you see, that's all right. Just listen. So much can be had from just listening, not being busy, marking everything, writing everything down. Maybe you feel, I just need to hear this. I just need to focus on the flow of the whole story. That's all right. Others may feel they want to refine their sense of what life, truth, and love is, and so they can do it through each one of those main tones of the subject. Because the subtones will fulfill the offices of expressing either life or truth or love. Does that make sense? All right. So we have just a beautiful opportunity to be ourselves. Just a final summary then. And that would be to see the two laws together, and to see where they appear in the whole design of being, that actually they are enfolded and embedded within the design of being at the point of the word in absolute Christian Science and Christian Science. And so they are fulfilling a particular office of the design of being. They are not the whole design in terms of what we know the design of being to be, with all the levels, all the standpoints of the calculus, but they are a particular law, a tremendous law that is related really to everything else in being. And a fundamental understanding of this law is a proper basis for everything else that we do in the science of being.